Okay, I got something for you guys to chew on.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm ready. I'm hungry. Feed me,
Since
Daddy.
hot dogs
I mean,
are basically just pureed meat stuffed inside an animal intestine, and a hot dog
Okay.
doesn't stop being a hot dog even after we eat it. We just become the new hot dog casings that makes us, in a way,
damn
hot
it.
dogs as well.
It's like an intro to like a badass song. Techno song.
What are you reading?
Is it?
I saw you reading. What are you reading that off of?
Somebody sent
That's
this to me,
his
and it just distressed
memoirs.
me.
5 seconds. Okay.
Did you come up with that?
Here we go. We're going. All right. Welcome
We
back.
should start with that.
Welcome
John.
back. No,
I
we
can
shouldn't.
do it again.
No. Welcome back, everyone, to Green Bites Gaming plays Delta Green Impossible Landscapes. My name is Joe. I'll be your handler for this operation, and I am joined by 3 of the most normal, regular people who talk about the most regular shit that you've ever met. Starting with, of course, Dace playing Busiek.
Very, very based and boring. Just vanilla, run-of-the-mill.
Yeah, and then I'm of course joined by old Brad playing Hank.
Just sports and stock for me. That's all I think about.
What? Is that the most regular things that people do?
For a 30-year-old man,
Is that
probably.
what you're getting
In America,
Okay.
I guess.
And then of course we are joined by Jean playing John, who talks about, I think, the most normal things. And if there's anyone who, it's funny. I feel like if you were to poll our audience and be like, who do you think talks about the most bizarre shit? They would not say Jean playing Benedict.
Thank you. I'm just happy to be here. And to be included.
Thank you. And to be included, and to be, in your own way, a hot dog.
Be the hot dog.
Be the hot dog. Guys, I'm not sure if you guys were aware. I turned 34
Oh, happy birthday.
since our last meeting.
Disgusting.
You old
It is
bag of
gross.
meat.
My body is gross. Certainly my life.
Unanimously
but,
agree.
Hey, you want to
Thank
feel
you.
even older? If you want to feel old as shit,
do it.
get online on your computers and look up the cast of Terminator 2.
Oh, God.
And how old they are.
No.
I made the mistake of doing that just before we got on, and I feel like a skeleton.
Like a skeleton. No, in Will's a regular attendee of our live recordings says I'm 58. Should I leave? No, it's fine. I can't imagine what it's like to hear, us
bitching about.
It's like a 15-year-old.
Right.
We're basically
Totally.
15-year-olds to him.
We
right.
sound like entitled shits.
Right.
Now I feel old and I hate myself. Thanks a lot.
Thanks, in Wills. You bring that out in us. Oh God. Well, I like a lot of people in my program are like in their mid-20s, and they're kind of, you're in your mid-20s when you're like, the other day I got out of my car and my back hurt, and it's like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. But that's not what I want to talk about. I don't want to. We often too much talk about the ravages of time, but one of the things that happened is my wife kind of had it was not a surprise party, but it was like she had planned it without me knowing. But then 6 hours before, she's like, okay, so I kind of want it to be a surprise, but I literally need your help bringing in all the food. So that we can set up. She's like, so I've invited a bunch of people from your program to come, and us just kind of have a shindig and have a game night. I was like, okay, great. So it wasn't a traditional surprise party where I walk in and it's like surprise, but it's just a good get together. How do you guys feel about surprise parties? How would you feel if someone threw you a legit, you walk in the door and there's people behind the couch and stuff like that,
I don't even like celebrating my birthday. So But
I was gonna say, same. I would close the door and
but I
walk
know
away.
it makes it even more awkward for
If you don't
my
engage.
girlfriend or like other people if I don't engage. So I just like stay like excited
Staring
or
into the
happy.
distance.
I don't know.
I
like how
imagine,
he
I imagine Brad goes in.
You lie is what you're saying. You just lie.
Well, he goes on like, you know that Brad standby mode where he's still engaging, you know, but not emotionally, not mentally, but his physical body is like going through the autonomous process.
The lights are on, but nobody's home.
That's what we get. What about you? What about you, Dace? What's your feel? Like you said, you would just like, would it be like an episode of Seinfeld? Like you'd open the door, your hand still on the doorknob, surprise, and then just the door just closes.
Yeah. I had a birthday party once. That
Oh
was
my.
enough.
You get the idea. There's cake. There's candles. All right, seen this.
I think I've seen all I need to see.
No, the good thing about mine and Brad's birthday are really close together. So we actually a lot of the times we'll celebrate. We'll have like a joint birthday party,
Well, that's
and that
useful.
way
That's a bit
neither
better.
one of us is like the sole focus of it. It's just like a
Oh.
general get together
Nice.
celebration.
Nice.
And
So
if you
that's-
ever get
that's
tired, you
nice.
can just be like, go talk to Brad. It's also his birthday, and vice versa.
Right.
Yeah, you should really go
That's- I like
go
this.
celebrate Brad.
I like this.
You know, and it says a lot about. I don't know, and John, maybe you're the outlier, but like it sounds like at least me, Dace, and Brad are like I don't know, like I've never really celebrated. I've never like gotten super into celebrating my birthday. Like some people get really excited about it. I don't know. It's just
I used to hate my birthday so much, and with such a reputation for disliking it, that my colleagues at work at one stage, this was very memorable, they put up balloons, but he wrote little custom nihilistic messages on every single balloon.
Ooh.
Like, every second you're dying, every second you're watching this balloon, and happy fucking whatever, and shit like that. And for my birthday, they were like, you can come in and pop these balloons, you grouchy shit.
Nice.
And I loved it. It was great. But there's a whole lot of irony of loving that, you know. But I've become
I
less
love that
grouchy.
we're all on the
totally.
same page.
I've become less grouchy. Like, I realize people like to look back at other people in the world, in their spheres. So birthdays aren't really so much about me as much about other people. But yeah,
I
Wisdom.
traditionally have struggled with celebrating just period, in a lot of ways. But it's one of those things that like in the last several years, like I've kind of let myself get into. But I would like to go back real quick to this idea of Dace being like, I went to a birthday party once, or I had a birthday party, and I think I've got the idea. I'm just imagining 5-year-old Dace sitting at a
Spinny
table
hat on his
with
head.
the hat on and the cake in front of him and everybody
Hating
singing
it.
happy birthday and him just kind of sitting there and just kind of like nodding slowly to himself. I'm like, okay. And all right, I think I've got it.
Literally home videos of me crawling under the table when everybody's singing happy birthday to me when I'm like 5 or 6 years old.
That is
Well,
that's so Brad.
he's consistent. I'll give it to him.
he just doesn't crawl anymore. That's the difference.
Well,
You haven't seen me on my birthday, John.
It's my birthday. I can traverse
I'll
this
crawl if
parking
I
lot
want
however
to.
I please. Like Maria's like standing there walking full height, just like on her phone, just like walking slowly with it. But not in the
Shenanigans.
furry
Yeah, I was
way.
about to say, let's get away from this. Is starting to sound kinky.
Wow.
Let's get away from that.
It's your
the
birthday,
leash.
dude.
Tell him about the leash.
Tell about the leash. Okay, speaking
This is my
of
slithery little snake boy.
speaking of unsuspecting worlds colliding, let's talk about Impossible Landscape, shall we? Let's get right into
Snake boy killed me. Sorry.
Snake Boy.
All right, on to
All right. On to Impossible
do this.
Landscape, Delta Green. Gosh, guys, last time. Do you guys remember what happened last time?
Yes. I was here.
Okay, thanks. Good conversation, guys. Excellent radio.
No, I need that recap.
Okay. Last time,
We
you
made it.
guys having gone through everything. Shut the fuck up, John. I'm talking.
No, I'm with you.
Having
I'm
gone
supporting
through,
you.
Attaboy.
having gone through everything to get to Carcosa, the broad, like you sought out the Broad Alban after being after the McAllister Building in 1995, after the Dorchester, and then going to Las Vegas, and then ending back up in Boston, and then to Chicago, going through the Broad Alban, through the labyrinth, into Carcosa, down through the lake, into the silence, into the secret city, through the secret city, into the war zone, is where you guys started last time. In the middle of a war zone between combatants, some familiar, some unfamiliar. Germans and Russians from World War II. You've seen at least one American that you know of, who I will remind you did feed into a vent. And that worked out super well for him. But you guys went through the war zone. You encountered, specifically last time we met, you guys encountered some groups other than the actual combatants involved. You encountered one group of some type of prisoners who seemed to be like emaciated and in delirium and running through the streets. And you guys, led primarily by Busiak, have, kind of like, no, we need to retreat. We can't just mow down these people. You sought shelter from them. And then later, as you guys are continuing to move through, always toward this ever-present skybox kind of version of the palace, we're moving toward it. We're trying to get through the war zone. You guys then came across a group of civilian survivors, just trying to make it happen day to day, dealing with wounds and trying to find food and even though you could not speak their language, you guys made this connection with them, this very human element in this hellscape, in this war zone of just regular people trying to live. And I think there was a question tossed back and forth, are these people who were pulled from somewhere else into Carcosa, or has Carcosa been pulling places towards it for so long that these people just grew up here and the madness is normal to them, a part of their lives? You guys were able to communicate and negotiate with them, and I believe that Busiak was able to heal, use his medical knowledge as a firefighter to help stabilize some of them. Some of their wounded you were not able to attend to. And that in a sign of, and you guys are able to communicate to them, like, hey, we're heading there. We are going to the palace. You guys were able to communicate to them that, and in exchange, they led you to this no man's land. This huge, what looks like it might have been a canal at some point in time, now filled almost to the top with bodies. With the bodies of the Black Wind, the King's Army, Soviets, Germans, and with constant warfare. And you guys had, and actually I was talking to Gabby yesterday about it. She was like, so what did you guys do last time? I was like, now I think about that, last episode might have been my favorite sequence of this entire game. Of you guys
talk
crossing.
with your wife about what we do?
I will say she asked.
That's fucking crazy, yo.
But you guys crossing the no man's land, and this interaction you guys have with your own sanity and the world warping around, to make room for you in that way. As you guys went towards this big
as well.
Right, double fumble situation, which turns out,
oh yeah,
you won
it.
Good
in that
it was
case.
good in this context. Yes, you guys made it through basically unscathed, which is not a given. You guys make it through to this big factory, and this a factory that you had seen the signage for previously back in the encounter group, and you guys stumble out through the other side into a very different place, which is where we left off last time. You guys have now entered the Silent City. That, as opposed to both the War Zone and the Secret City previous, where the signs and ravages of war are ever present, all of the debris, any place where an errant artillery shell might have hit a residential building, all of the debris is neatly piled up as if, a crew is going to come pick it up later. The streets are clean and almost completely empty. And I would say that everything around is... The cities have a kind, or the buildings have a kind of a symmetry, a theme to them. They're all kind of whitewashed and neat. Like there's like a city ordinance that says that your building has to be a certain way. And as you guys kind of stumble out onto the street, you can still hear the sounds of warfare behind you, but it seems far away all of a sudden. And where we're going to pick up here now is you guys are standing here still breathing hard as you kind of come out onto this neatly kept sidewalk. And there's a moment where, you're looking at each other, asking, are we safe? Blah, blah, blah. Did we make it? But then you notice, out of the corner of all of your guys' eyes up high, you realize now that the bulb, that giant top of the palace, is inexplicably looming closer than it has ever been. You are on the right track. So, that is where we're going to pick up.
We went into the factory, and the factory just kind of like, once we went through the doors, it just teleported us to like this other inner...
It didn't teleport you. You ran through the factory floor.
Gotcha. What do they make in the factory?
Oh, excellent question. It appears to be tractors and agricultural equipment.
Right, you mentioned that.
In various stages.
I knew John Deere was behind this.
Yes, I knew big American ag was a part of this. But maybe even as you go through, maybe some of these tractors, maybe you actually see that to the side of the main line of the tractors, maybe you actually see some engines that looks like they might be being lifted out of tractor chassis and put into some type of armored personnel carrier. Like, they're actually salvaging pieces of the equipment to
World
use
War
it for other
II
things.
retrofit factory situation.
This is the heart of John Deere's monopoly on the maintenance of their tractors.
Are we gonna do that? Are we gonna make that a part of this?
We're getting distracted.
What? Whose bottle? What were we looking for forever? Was it JD something?
That was Jay Lynn's.
JD Lynn's. John Deere Lynn's. It all comes around.
It's JC. It's JC. As in JACY. You still have the bottle, by the way.
No, I'm pretty sure I got it right.
Right.
Jesus Christ. It's Jesus Christ.
Some atomic scissors in chat says, no, it's Lamborghini. They made tractors before angry wedges with wheels.
I think that might actually be right. That's
actually what they did. Yes.
Yeah. All right.
But I want to make it very clear: you're not in the tractor factory anymore, guys. You're on the street.
Since we're on the street,
in some ways, we'll never leave the tractor factory.
I see that.
We're lucky. Well, Hank is gonna kind of. If I haven't done this already, I can't remember. Take off any of this, anything that would associate me with any one faction. Like I don't have the red coat or whatever I had, or the black. Sorry, what was that faction?
The Black Wind.
The Black Wind. I forgot which get up I had, but I'm gonna take anything like that off.
Okay, you're going to discard whatever, because I think two of you still had uniforms on.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe we should keep them for later, Hank? Or do you just want to toss these? You think they've served their purpose?
We can, but not sure if... I just don't know what's going on here. It seems to be quiet. It seems to be away from war. I'm not sure. And who knows if it's because they've eliminated one of these factions in this vicinity. Might cause more problem than help us.
Okay.
You guys can play dress up at the ball, We got a place to be.
Says
True.
the firefighter with a mannequin on his crotch.
Right. Well, and as you guys are
Sorry, too
observing, yeah. Well, it's the elephant in the
It's
room.
hard to argue with.
Speaking of that,
Let's address the elephant in the
maybe
room.
you should think about your get up.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if
I didn't want to say anything.
the Mad Max look is.
Oh, does this make me look fat?
It makes you look insane, which I don't know if is good or bad for this place, but
I find that a certain aura of insanity lends itself to a certain reticence
He
for
is-
would-be combatants.
Not wrong.
Huh?
Not wrong.
Would-be combatants. Yeah.
all right.
So as you guys are standing here,
What's around us?
Well, again, like you guys are standing on a street, and it's like there's, I don't know what do you call them? Like townhouses, like side, buildings that are individual apartments or individual homes that are all sharing sides. You guys are on one of these big, long, very, with like shop fronts on the bottom floor. Like very like old school New York kind of, in a feel, but it has a very kind of like more of a European feel to it. Maybe there is like a singular like fruit cart or something that looks like it might have been like a fruit or a food cart like out, but there's like nothing on it. It's pristinely like neat, everything put away.
Do we see any people?
And you see, I would say that in the far distance, and there is this kind of fog at the very distance, the very far ends, like in the streets tend to go out. A row house. Thank you, scissors. Like at the very, very far end of the streets, it actually gets a little foggy, a little hard to see. That's how long they go. But you can see maybe just the kind of image of people as they kind of cross. It looks like they're heading in the direction of the palace. And anyone that you do see, and this happens every now and then, but it always seems like they're pretty far away, or maybe even every now and then as you're looking around, you might catch just a glimpse of movement in one of the row houses, in one of the windows. And if you look up just in time to see a curtain being very swiftly closed. It seems that the people, whoever is here, if anyone, and that's not the idea of someone being here is not simple. It's not clear cut always.
Well, Phil.
It seems like they don't want to engage with you. It seems like, or even maybe if you begin to walk around, maybe you hear doors locking as you approach. The sound of bolts being closed and doors and whatnot.
What do you guys think about following that stream of people?
Yeah, they seem to be heading towards the palace.
It's not like a constant stream. Like you just every now and then you
Yeah.
might see just like a group of two people or something like that, kind of heading that way.
Well, we're closer than we've ever been. No sense in stopping now.
We got to push on.
All
I
right.
think it's safe.
Absolutely not.
Hell no.
No.
Is there anything we can do to
fuck
make
you
it
been?
safer? Sorry, stupid question. My bad.
Well, we just don't know what we're gonna find in there. Benedict.
I know.
I
I know people don't seem excited to see us, but maybe we should just knock on the door and ask for some tea.
Well,
We've done that a
Hey,
lot,
man.
though. We've done that a lot, so we should just move forward.
the only thing I can think of is we could
Joe's giving us
attempt to
creepy thumbs up.
do it stealthily, in case we maybe observe some people. If we want to go forward, roll a stealth check, and see if we can do it sneakily. And perhaps we could if we do come across some kind of, if there is some danger looming, waiting for us, then maybe we could get the upper hand. But
Well, Hank, there is that fruit cart. Why don't we just commandeer the fruit cart, and we'll blend into this empty street?
stick this watermelon on
Pretend
my
to be
head.
fruit vendors.
Oh, I was going to pretend
Oh,
to
I
be
thought
the
you were going to
fruit.
say pretend to be fruit. Yeah, exactly.
Pretend to be fruit.
I'll
in
scout
seriousness,
ahead.
we could take
Benedict.
that with us. We
could.
could take that fruit cart.
I'm not hungry, though.
I know there's no fruit though. It's just a cart. Hank,
All right, you
give
take
me
the
some
cart.
yes ands, man.
Yes, and I will lead the way stealthily. You fellas
Okay.
don't fall
I will
too far
take
behind.
this big wooden barrier that could be helpful to us,
Okay.
along with.
Hank's gonna kind of like scout ahead, but like keep them, and kind of like,
Okay.
you know,
Oh fuck! The wheel fell off.
Wait,
Benedict, give me a hand.
As Busiak tears the wheel off.
fumble.
so I
gotta
was.
fumble his shit.
I took a strength check there to try and pull the cart,
But I successfully
and
made
I got
the
a fumble
stealth.
there, Joe.
As you go up to pull the cart, both wheels fall off comically, like in unison to the side.
I tried. I tried.
Rolling out of the middle of the cart are what looks to be about 50 peaches.
Well, that's surprising.
I cannot believe you're doubling down on this useless set piece. As much time as wasted. Now there's peaches.
Yeah.
Busiak eats a peach.
Oh, it's wax. It's a fake wax peach.
Oh, Busiak. Yeah, don't interact with the props, man.
It's like North
This is-
Korea.
He's a fake. He's fake.
It's most
It's a
of
North
this.
Korean peach.
It's a North Korean peach.
Coincidentally, that's a girl I follow on OnlyFans.
Oh my.
Jesus. This Hank. Okay,
You
so
guys
we're on
move
a
down
set.
the street.
We go down the street.
Does Hank
Without
get
a cart.
anything for his advanced stealth as he leads the party?
Did you? What did you get? Did you roll a dice?
Yeah, success.
He did.
You get a success. Okay. Yeah, you're heading down. You're kind of in front of them, and you hear the sound of the comical slapstick comedy routine going on behind you. You know, as these guys are managing their peach cart problem. But Hank, you are moving forward. You know, I assume you have a weapon, not necessarily like up, like you're scanning, but you know, you have your weapon. You know, and you're trying to move, gaining as much cover you can, observing, maybe on like a little alley, from a little alleyway, and then moving, kind of hopping up as you go, from one piece of cover to the next. You get to an area, Hank, where the street begins to turn, like a slow, easy turn, and you see that the buildings actually end. Or maybe they end on one side of the street, and you hear in the distance a familiar sound, the lapping of waves.
Sure.
And as you peer down, again, there's this low fog kind of hanging. It's not terribly thick, you know, but, you know, at like 100 meters or so, you know, and you can see, it appears that the street kind of ends in a bit of a, what would you call that? You know, the street
Cul-de-sac.
that abuts up against a beach, right?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it's kind of like ends like one of those, like a walking path, like where people can walk by the beach and stuff like that.
And this is going in the same direction as the palace?
Oh, were you heading directly toward the palace? Was that the intent?
Yeah, I thought so.
I would say that whichever way you start to go, like you see this in the distance, like and again, it's like, you know, you guys had come down through the lake.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, now there appears to be another body of water.
Fellows,
So you're not really
If
sure
we take
what to make of that.
If we take the beach path, would that take us closer to the palace?
You think so?
perhaps we can, fellas, there's a beach. Maybe we can get around all these buildings if we stay. And also, maybe it'll give us a sense of direction if we can keep the, you know, this body of water either on our left or right side, whichever way is going towards the palace. We
Oh,
might
Hank, the water
Yeah.
makes you feel safe. After everything we've been through, the water makes you feel safe, Hank.
Well, I'm not going to go in the water.
Oh, I feel great. I feel great about that. At least we're not swimming again. God damn it, Hank, I'm tired. I'm tired of the shit. I'm too
no,
old
man.
for this shit.
So tired.
Gotta be honest, I could use a little a beach walk after that warscape hell zone back there.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Critical on alertness. What do I see once we get to the beach?
Hank, if you're still kind of up ahead of these guys, you get to the end of the, the row houses, and you look and you see that it's not the most pristine, pretty sight, and again, like the streets kind of betray this, like, okay, well, something's been going on, but someone's been trying to keep this place kind of looking nice. The beach, have you... The thing it reminds me of the most is I remember when Hurricane Katrina, after Hurricane Katrina came in, you could go down to the coast, and instead of the beach being its normal size, it was almost like everything was at low tide, and the beach went on and on and on, like out into the water. Mm-hmm. And you could see detritus like sticking up out of the sand, stuff like that. You go out, and it's like you see that there indeed appears to be a grand lake here. And there's a bit of a, like, a beachfront kind of walk, and you can see where the beach itself normally would be, but it's almost like the water is receded back, and it reveals, in some cases, what might looks like maybe entirely partially buried buildings, vehicles, wreckage, pieces of boat and stuff like that. But kind of as you're peering out into the fog, kind of like at the edge where the fog is sitting, you see a huge old school boardwalk that juts out into the mud and the mire of this kind of, I don't know what you'd call it, this sandbar where everything is stuck in. And maybe even along the beach, maybe there are little bits where there are little chairs with little umbrellas, some of which are in better shapes than others. But you can see it's like life was trying to continue, or maybe was stopped mid-sentence as people were doing their thing here. But there's this big boardwalk, and sitting in the middle of the boardwalk is a massive, unsightly square construction that from this distance you can barely tell what it is. But it dwarfs, and at the end of the boardwalk there is like a Ferris wheel. And, and what looks like to be like a little carnival kind of thing. But this giant building, it's just this big square thing, just dwarfs even the Ferris wheel.
It's on the boardwalk towards the end.
And it's built on the boardwalk.
And
yes.
underneath the boardwalk, it's just like mud. It's like the water's not up to
Right, it's like the water's been like receded like way back. But you can see the water in the distance, and you can hear the lapping of waves.
We might be able to find some supplies near this weird building. I don't know how y'all feel about going down the boardwalk.
That's a fucking trap.
That's a trap.
Hell no, that's a fucking trap. 6 months in the night floors. That's a trap.
We still got dynamite. We can blow it up.
Oh.
All right, Hank, you take lead. I'll watch you. I'll watch you from the shore.
I got you back.
Yeah. We wouldn't go towards this, would we? We would just keep going towards the
what if
tower.
Hank,
from every experience we've had. Shut the fuck up, I'm talking.
I got you. No,
right.
From every experience we have, both in game and out of game. In game, our characters wouldn't, because we're going to the palace. Out of game, Delta Green does not reward you for exploring that extra. Like, we're not going to find a loot drop. We're going to find something that turns you irreparably insane or kills you.
A tractor, clockwork, death machine. Hank, I am very much... I don't think this is a good idea unless we're gonna aggressively assault that large piece of concrete. The way we've been navigating before is to just think, or to really want to be towards the palace. And right now, I really want to be towards the palace. So what if we just, I don't know, let's walk down that other path and like go towards the palace. But everybody think really hard about the palace. That's how we get places, Hank. I don't know if I want to go to that building.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's walk past it.
What?
It sucks. It sucks so bad because, like, I want to know what's in there, but everything that we've been conditioned to believe and do, like, there's no way we'd do that.
As you guys are having this confab, and I imagine you're not just standing there, just like hands on hips on the beach. like I assume you guys have like some type of cover, as you're having this confab, trying to figure out what you're going to do. I think, isn't Hank's alertness like really high?
Yeah.
Yeah, he just got a critical. 82.
Oh yeah, he did. Yeah, it's and his last alertness was 66. Hank, you're sitting here and you guys are just like, okay, it's like, man, we really don't know if we want to fuck with this. So there are two things. One, Hank, you were reminded of something, and Busiat doesn't have the opportunity to be reminded of this because he wasn't there. Hank, you were reminded of something. You were reminded of an odd photo. An odd photo.
I was going to ask about that. I thought
I'm sorry.
that was Lake
Go
Harley.
ahead, John.
No, go for it. I'm just upset at myself for not speaking up. I'm lashing out at you. I'm sorry.
Okay, that's okay.
Feel your pain.
Yeah. So you see this and kind of like looking at like where the palace is, but then this this boardwalk, you were reminded of a postcard that you saw, or not a postcard, it's much of a picture of two people, one of which you did not know at the time, one of which you had, of Dr. Elias Barbas, also known as Marbus, and Ophelia Citri dressed as clowns, with on some type of boardwalk, and behind them was like a carousel, right? And that kind of thing, with them like making this like funny kind of this kind of funny thing, and behind them, in the distance, silhouetted, was this grand palace. And Hank, you're looking at this, and you're like, it's like, this reminds you of that, and you're like, it's the only boardwalk we've seen here. And you wonder what it takes for someone to come to this place, but then they'll to come back out, or did it even happen in that order? Like, time is fluid.
That was forever
in these
ago.
situations.
I'll remind Benedict of that. So that was definitely a good call. I do not want to go near that spot.
If you remember, they were dressed up, so maybe they were also going to the ball, and they actually had the right costumes. So maybe we just need to keep an eye out for some clown costumes.
Maybe they're insane and part of this weird play. Maybe that was their part, to be entertainers of some sort. Not sure.
The second thing you see, Hank, as you are doing this, and your mind kind of wanders, you catch a tiny. You know how you're a lot better at catching little tiny bits of movement out of the corner of your eye. Like you react more to like little bits of movement. Maybe your eyes are scanning. Maybe you turn back to Benedict, but then you catch a tiny flutter of movement on the boardwalk as you see someone turn a corner and begin to head like around the side of this big square building. And all you can see is that they are wearing what appears to be like ankle-length red robes draped over whoever they are. They have a hood up over their face, and they are walking quickly, briskly. And they make it to like these kind of big double doors, and you see them, struggle to get the doors open. They seem to not be terribly easy to open, but then you see them also then pull the door behind them as they go in to this facility, this building.
I just don't. I obviously point that out to everybody. I just don't know, fellas. I mean, on the other hand, we went inside a random factory and it teleported us into this intersection of the city. This could be some kind of portal, but it does seem like a big risk.
Well, real quick. So you guys are kind of at this crossroads. What are your objectives right now? Like, what do you need to do? What do you want to do?
Base?
Get to the palace, right?
Yeah.
That's
We do need an invitation, though, and we need something to dress up. So we don't have an invitation. I don't know what's going to happen if we're not invited to this thing.
Okay. Do you think we could find an invitation there?
We could ask.
Maybe they have a customer service desk.
Yeah. Oh, I don't know.
Are we really thinking about doing this?
I think we have to. I think we have to go. Let's go ask that man in the red robes.
Let's ask this
Benedict
cult
will
leader
briskly-
where the cult
Yes,
is.
he'll briskly start walking towards the
Whoa,
cult.
whoa, whoa.
The
There's
dude
no
in the
reason
robes.
to assume that he's in leadership. Don't be ridiculous.
Oh, that's good.
He's gonna turn back to the guys and he's gonna do the kind of Robin Hood Men in Tights thing. He's gonna say, "Walk this way," and he's gonna start going, walking, and then they're gonna copy him.
All right,
Deep cut.
Busiak mimics him.
let's go towards
Ridiculous
the trap.
up.
Excellent. As you guys draw close, again, like, you know, there's this kind of fog in the mid distance, you know, and you see that as you guys get closer, you see that perched on top of this big square building is, you know, at first something that's a bit of an odd shape, but as you guys grow close, you see that it too appears to be almost carousel in its kind of shape. And it is something, but it's not cheery and brightly painted like a carousel. And the creatures on it have a seriousness to them, but it's not just creatures. It's also what looks like almost like orbs, like planets, like a combination of like a carousel and orrery almost.
Sure.
Like kind of perched on top of the whole thing. And as you guys draw close, you see that, again, there's this big wooden building here, and there are many sets of doors kind of all over, but many of them are chained, you know, have big, heavy chains over them. But you know that the figure had gone in this other way. Is there anything you guys would like to explore about the boardwalk? Or would you like to pursue the kick in the door and announce yourself loudly kind of route?
I think I'd like to take bets on what particular type of trap we're walking into. Like, is it going to be a roll a sanity check, or is it going to be a character killer? I got $20 on character killer.
We got 9 sticks of dynamite.
Can we look at those?
Would have had 10. Would have had 10.
Gonna hold that over my head forever. It was a decent
Absolutely.
throw, Buziak. I tried my best. Okay, it slipped. My hands were clammy. Move on.
You think dynamite grows from trees?
You're the one that didn't want to
I should
explode
have
those
asked you.
people.
Hank just rolled an occult and failed trying to figure out if there's some meaning behind these creatures / celestial bodies above the weird thing, but failed.
Yeah, nothing particular you can make of, but it has that feel. You know, for anyone who's seen like a planetarium or an orrery, it's an odd combination, I would say.
There's something.
Let's take a look
At
at
the very
boardwalk.
least, we know there's 2 people inside here. Whether they're friendly or not, we should be on our guards.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys want to take a look around the boardwalk?
Yeah, let's just take a stroll quickly.
Okay.
Okay. You guys make your way around the boardwalk, around the outside the building. There appears to be one unchained entrance. That doesn't mean you can't use the other ones, you know, but you'd have to deal with the chains. But as you go down the boardwalk, there are what are those things called? You know, like the binocular things that you put a coin into, you know, so you can look out.
Yeah.
You know, there's those kind of stationed around, and maybe even at the very far edges, like, you know, on the edge of the boardwalk, there are even some fishing rods that are like put into like kind of like makeshift mounts, you know, like they've been left there by someone who is fishing. Maybe they have little bells on them, you know, to, you know, that kind of thing, you know, someone who's been here, you know, trying to catch a meal. And as you go down to the carnival area, there are no barriers, but everything is shut up. everything, has the concession stands have their doors down with little padlocks on them. And there is this feeling of, I think, of as you guys walk amongst it, there's this feeling of out of placeness, like a strange and penetrating wrongness about this here. Like it feels, and especially for you guys, maybe with the exception of Benedict, who is from the UK, right? But especially for Hank and Busiak, it's like, God, this feels like Americana. It feels like something pulled right out of a postcard from where you're from, and this kind of feeling like it should not be here, and the emptiness of it is kind of settles on you, and you guys all find yourself almost struggling with an emotional drainedness as you kind of walk amongst. You feel like ghost haunting a place.
It could be this could be sort of the thing, in the Silent City, the city is basically all props, and it seems in Joseph there's a bunch of detritus and just shit everywhere on the beach. It's maybe the closer you get to the body of the water, the more it's a mishmash of other worlds, and the city now that's squeaky clean is just the set, and the closer we go towards the play, basically.
Sure, but what's the point?
I'm not sure, besides
killing one of us.
Maybe we're just out of place. I don't feel at home here. What is at home anymore? We've been doing this. How long has it been, Hank, that we've been doing this?
I got the creeps, that's all I know. I'm more for going back out of this boardwalk and leaving these rogue folks behind.
This boardwalk might be the best chance at finding a clown costume. If we want
even
to dress
more
up,
reason to leave. I don't want to see no clown. I hate clowns.
All right, then let's head back.
I say we do this. We open that door. Then again, each door could be a portal to somewhere else. We opened the door.
Hank, I don't know where you got this portal idea from. I don't think we've ever seen a portal.
Yes, we've been in the same world this entire series. I don't know why I would think that we could go through a door and magically be somewhere else.
Right. Benedict, you feel stupid.
Wow.
That's coming from me, the GM. I'm telling you, that's right. I'm telling you how your character feels. You feel stupid.
That's not just your average feeling of stupid. There's GM intervention.
You guys are having this conversation, maybe standing next to a big big sign that has a picture of, on one side, of a corn dog, and on the other side of cotton candy, but written in Tartesian. You can't read the signage. You guys are standing here having this conversation, and you hear a small tingling of music. Just
coming from
dark room.
Coming from back the direction of the building, back towards more the base of the boardwalk. And it's far away, and it seems to be kind of, not getting closer, beelining towards you or anything. Nothing. I don't want to give you that impression.
Okay.
But it's you hear this tingling of music.
What are the chances that I could roll a heavy machinery and try to get the merry-go-round working?
The point of those skills is to roll them and see what happens. So if you want to do that,
Busiak, why? You know what? You do you, man. You go and fix that machine.
yeah. Well, there's a control panel. there's like a big control panel, like kind of to the side, like a box that maybe has like a tarp over it or something. And it doesn't take anything for you to pull the tarp off and see that this machine has a set of controls. Yeah.
I mean, we have been pretty stressed as of late. It would be a good chance to let down our hair.
Would actually be nice.
Yeah.
And it would give us a vantage point.
I could really use a ride.
Listen,
Busiak, this is the best
we can
idea
all
I've ever
agree.
heard.
Well, we can all agree as people, there's nothing more relaxing than a merry-go-round ride in a deserted alien carnival. Like,
I call the narwhal.
Okay,
it's nothing but narwhals.
Oh,
Holy shit.
Oh no.
100. Fumble. Wow.
Oh no.
So
we're just crits and fumbles today.
okay, so I'm in the right here to punish you, right? Like that's
I mean, yeah.
like that's fair. That's the right thing for me to do.
Jesus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, we'll get squashed by a giant Ferris wheel.
It's actually like it starts to transform. It's actually a big like Voltron.
Oh no.
And it just stamps on all of you. No. You Busiak, you go in and you try to mess with this thing. And to your surprise, maybe you look underneath, you're like, okay, there's a is this where the power comes in, stuff like that. And to your surprise, Busiak, you seem to like, oh, there appears to be like a kind of like a master power switch that is just like turned off in the base of this thing, maybe behind an access panel. You flip it and you hear the control panel kind of like the sound of it kind of powering up and stuff like that. And
guys, I got it. Thumbs up. I'm feeling great.
And there's a big red button. There's a big red button that seems to be, there's a green button and a red button. There's a big, and the green one is lit up. And I mean, what are you gonna do? What's Busiak gonna do with his fumble? What do you think he would do?
Well,
He falls face
I'm
first
definitely
and hits
gonna
the
push
red
He's
one.
colorblind.
Yeah, it's color.
oh, which one? Which one?
Both at the same time. Blam!
It's like that meme.
Yeah, it's both at the same time.
Yeah, that's the green one.
You hit the green one and it begins to turn. The carousel first, like, it seems to grind and screech. There's like that mechanical, unhealthy, just as the machine is struggling, ungreased for God knows how long. But then it begins to turn, and all of the narwhals start to bob up and down as they go. But the song you hear is something that maybe you haven't heard, Busiak, but these two know it. It's a song. It's like a doo-woppy kind of song called Whatever Happened to Abby.
Oh.
And it's belting
God.
out from the center of this thing, but even the sound itself is warped and unwell sounding. And as it begins to bob up and down and the music starts to spread out, you hear something moving within the nearest concession stand, which is closed. You hear something stirring. And then you hear something stirring at the balloon popping station. Oh, is that one of those water dunk things? Something is moving within the pool of it as well. Oh, and it's like, oh, isn't that a fun house over there? You can hear what appears to be scratching at the closed door.
Okay.
Jesus.
Everybody, this was fun, but we need to run now. Let's get
Yeah,
out.
I'm getting creeped out, Busiak.
I don't want to know. Busiak, step away from that. Let's go. We're out.
You guys don't want to take a
No.
ride on the...
No, let's go. You did your job. This is a bad idea.
All right,
let's go.
All right.
And we start to book it out of here. Back to the big, boring concrete.
Well, as you get near to the big square building, maybe about that time, behind you, the first concession stand. Again, it has those big vertical opening doors that to close off the part where you'd come up and stand there and get your your cotton candy. The first one of them, it's like as you guys are leaving, like there's beginning to be pounding on these locked doors of all these stands, and then one of them, the lock finally gives way, and you guys maybe turn around and see there is, as what appears to be a mannequin wearing a little apron with like a little hat, like a little, concession stand server hat, is pulling itself out, but it appears to be partially broken and unwell and not well maintained, and it pulls itself out and seems to be getting itself around with only one hand and one leg, like down on the ground, and it pulls itself over and begins to claw its way towards the carousel.
Jesus.
Oh, fuck no, not these fuckers again.
I think they're mesmerized by the carousel, though. They're not after us.
Yeah.
Hank,
And
do you
I
want
will
to
All
leave?
right, we wait until they all crawl to the carousel, then we take all 9 sticks of
That's
dynamite,
what I was thinking.
throw them, blow the fuckers up.
As you guys approach the doors to the building, you can hear that tingling music, but it appears to be... And you see now the door is ajar, and the music seems to be coming from just inside the door.
Benedict. Abby's here somewhere. Like, I think Hank's now compelled. Like, he was scared, but now he knows he's scared, and he knows he has to go further down this kind of rabbit hole because the whole Abby thing, Abigail. Hank will look in the door.
You guys are, I imagine Busiak and Benedict are kind of transfixed with, this kind of
Just
zombie-like...
watching out for zombies, yeah.
like horde that's
Zombie
like pulling
mannequins.
itself towards the carousel, and maybe even you hear the sound of mechanical slamming. Like, you don't know if it's the sound of mannequins being thrown off of the carousel, or the sound of them attacking it. Like, you don't know, because it's like behind the wall. But Hank, you ease open the door. It's a big heavy door, and you look into what appears to be a very old school mall. Like, there's a big open indoor walking area with boarded up shop fronts. And as you open the door, the music, you see the source of it. And on all sides of these shop fronts, there's kind of this path cut in the middle of these big piles. Not trash, not refuse, because it appears to be an order to it. On one side, it looks like is that a pile of toasters taller than a man? Like, is this... But over here is an area, it looks like all copper stuff. Like, there's copper pipes, and then copper trinkets, and then, like, electronics. Like, they've been all pushed over in this. So there seems to be... Like, this one appears to be all cogs and gears of different types. There's, like, a sorting of things, and they're piled up on both sides. But standing in the middle of it, walking slowly, but then stopping as you open the door, but walking away from you, deeper into the building, and holding a candle in its little hand.
No.
Is something that I think you have seen before.
No, not.
Is
not
it the
a
cabin
cherub.
thing?
Not a cherub.
The cabinet?
No,
Cherub?
No, it's not the cherub. One of you, or actually it might have been Benji now that I think about it, but no, it was Benedict. It was absolutely Benedict. It's something that Benedict would remember, but Hank, Benedict told you about. It is a small, mechanical girl dressed in a little dress, with like this hair that's made of some type of, filament of some type. And there's this tinkling music coming from it. And it stops in the middle of its walk. And just its upper half of its body turns around to see you. And you see it has this little girl's face built, kind of like molded onto it with an articulating jaw that moves up and down as if it's supposed to speak. And it turns around, Hank, and then its lower body turns around as well to you. and it takes a step toward you. This music tingling out of it. It sounds like a music box. Like it's got that tingly, kind of plinky sound to it.
Hank raises the gun towards it.
It takes another step toward you.
Oh, I need to roll something. What can we roll?
Benedict grabs a stick of dynamite and looks at Hank. Says, "Ready when you are."
And keep in mind, this is the thing that gave you the letter from Abby.
Oh.
That was the last encounter you had with it.
I wish sense motive were a thing and that you could use it on machines, but neither of those is real.
Notoriously hard to read.
Can I roll?
What would you guys like to do?
Benedict, this might be our only chance to get another clue to where Abigail is. So Hank is torn, but he's not stupid. Can I roll alertness for his best of his ability to see if it's hiding any kind of weapon? Or something's different about this one?
Sure.
There's something different about this one than the one that gave us the letter.
Well, you didn't see that one. Benedict did. And then it disappeared.
Oh, I thought he was.
Yeah. Busiak's like, what have you guys seen one of these before?
Yeah,
He's got his axe up, ready to go.
I've seen one of
for
these.
sure.
It delivered a letter, but this one's creeping me out.
What kind of letter?
No, it's too long to tell you about it right now, Buziak. Hank.
Poisonous letter laced with anthrax?
No, nothing
demonic
like that.
runes?
No, just a letter, just a standard letter. Hank.
Harmless?
God damn it, Buziak. Hank, make a call, man.
Alertness, success, 19 under 82.
Hank, you do not see any obvious weapons that this thing is, has here. And as it walks out to you, you see, and it's like it takes another few steps, but then again, its upper half turns away from you as it's walking. And you see that as it's coming closer to you, what appears to be like some type of opening in its back opens up, that maybe even it's that the music gets louder as literally the back portion of its body opens mechanically. You see all these complicated clockworks, as this thing pulls open. And then and as it gets within about 3 feet of you, your weapon still up, down at it, this little platter, extends out. And on it is a little sheet of paper.
Oh,
Says,
okay.
Well,
Ian,
I say a piece of paper. It's an envelope.
outside the envelope, it says Ian Frederick de Craig, prisoner 125100. And he opens it up and shows the letter to everybody. Join us at the palace for masquerade to celebrate the new king. Come to dine, come to dance, come.
Looks like you got your invitation, Benedict.
Benedict's still ready to smash this thing, but he grunts whilst just keeping an eye on the little girl.
Ian Frederick de Craig, do we know this person? He was a prisoner somewhere.
Hank, can you dismiss this creepy little doll standing in front of us? Please just shuffle it along or something. Go away, little girl.
As soon as you remove this thing, the entity, just very quickly, shing! Everything slams back into place in a way that, if my hand were in there, that would have been a bad time. It, slams back into place, and then very quickly, losing all of that mechanical rigidity, this thing begins to skip off
Oh, wow.
as a child.
No.
Still holding this candle, and the candle stays completely, it's the candle stays completely still. It's like you have steady cam on the camera. That's the only part of this thing that seemed unnatural. This thing skips off into the distance, this music's still playing. And then far down the hallway, you again see a red cloaked figure making a turn past one of these big piles. And I think, my friends, it's probably a good place to stop for right now.
Very creepy.
Can I just say, I loved that description of that robot. Everything from like the articulated torso turning and legs following, and like the movements, and that was awesome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. All I had to do was dig deep into my own nightmares and and pull that out. So
I'm sorry.
Well, it shows.
Well, everyone listening, everyone watching, thank you for joining us. Thanks, Atomic Scissors, for the subs. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
That really helps out. And In Wills, glad you can join us again live. Everyone listening, everyone watching, man, whether you're listening later or not, thanks for being here. We love doing this, and we're going to keep doing it, right? If you want to get the episodes a week early and get access to the sanity check stuff, hit up the Patreon. It's linked. You know the spiel. But guys, great job.
Great job.
I cannot
Joe.
believe you did not stay with the
Creepy
with the creepy carousel that you got out of a fumble. Why would you not stay with it?
Are you going to tell us what that was on a sanity check?
Sure.
He's going to transform into Megatron, and Linkin Park was going to start playing.
Oddly specific.
And just lens flares.
Truly
everywhere.
the worst of fates.
Right. Oh man. But yeah, guys, thank you so
thanks,
much. Always a blast. If you are with us live, stay tuned. We are going to we're going to take a break, and then we will be back. If you're listening to us later, thank you for joining us, and we will catch you next time. And remember, everyone, stay safe and stay sane. Bye.